On good.
I'm doing well. It's been quite some time. I had the opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah,
Things been pretty busy at your end, huh?
yeah. We hope that we could have this on a more regular basis during the IPL. And
Yeah, it's a rare couple of days. Sorry.
surprisingly, there is a lot of fan following for what we're doing here. I get a lot of comments saying that when you do shows, your results are even better than it usually is. So you should do a lot more shows than you're doing.
Yeah, I think showing your face becomes a lucky charm for all your subscribers.
I hope so.
So yeah, and it's been a rare couple of quiet days for you just with the WPL games and with no PSL games.
Hmm. Yeah, PSL. I think that there's a break for the knockout series, so it has been an easy couple of days for us, relatively speaking.
Yeah, the games they played in Rawalpindi have been crazy. It's like these pitches were on steroids or something. They scored 200 plus runs in every other game,
I
and
think PSL should seriously reconsider what they're doing with the decks there. I mean, not only are those decks flat, the boundaries are short as well. So there is no point. Batters are actually not gaining anything by scoring what they are scoring there when they go overseas. This is one of the biggest reasons why Pakistan struggles. For example, when they tour overseas, they'll have to try and produce more sporting decks.
yeah, and also it looks like because they've been changing the venues after a few games, the ball does come onto the
Hmm.
bat because the decks are slightly
Hmm.
fresh, and by the time it wears out, they move the tournament to another venue.
Hmm.
Like the last leg is in Lahore now.
Yeah. Ramesh Raja, the former PCB chairman, made an interesting comment that they're at least a couple of years away from being able to produce decks at quality decks, be it for any format. For example, even the test decks have been flat. So that's something I think it'll take a year or two, I guess.
Yeah. So, and it's been a completely different decks that they're getting in Bangladesh. England have been struggling to, put any good score and defend the scores they put on board.
Yeah, I just saw it as in the form of news. Actually, this is one of the drawbacks of what we are doing. I rarely see any of the matches that we aren't covering. In fact, I haven't seen an India game for like 4 months now. That's surprising, given what we do.
It's very interesting that you say that. Yeah, it could get a bit overwhelming. The amount of detail that you go into every game compared to an average fan like me. So we are just
Mm.
brushing, looking at the scores and highlights, but the level of detail you go into it obviously requires a different level of time commitment for each and every game.
So there is a lot of conventional coverage that we have at the moment. The only way that we can stand out is by disrupting what's currently happening, and that's what Coversoft is doing. It's disrupting basically the conventional way of fantasy coverage. We have completely turned it upside down, and there are websites and there are people who are starting to change it themselves and adapt to the way that we are covering fantasy gaming right now.
Yeah, it's been quite brilliant for the last couple of days, both on the fantasy and also the predictions. Uh, things been really exciting. For example, a couple of days back, I want to go through this particular comment. I hope my screen is
Mm,
visible.
it is.
So yeah, so if you, one of the creator notes is that given Vaidya has been moved up the order, Kiran Navigre, Talia McGrath, Deepthi Sharma, and Grace Harris are big enough to maintain the positions that would push Sharawat most likely below the batting number of 7 or lower. That's exactly what happened, and all the predictions based off that insight came true.
Yeah, we just got a small window there, an opportunity that we cashed. We went all in on. All of those predictions are based on that single market inadequacy, if you could call it. They didn't take into account that Sharawat could be demoted on the other hand. Maybe because she had opened, the market would have thought that she could be coming down at one down, but that's not going to happen because of how impressive Navgire was. And then with Navgire sealing her position, then you're obviously not going to expect Talia McGrath, Deepthi Sharma, or even Grace Harris to be moved from their position. So the highest she could bat was number 7, and that's what happened in that game, and we cashed on it.
So yeah, it's not just the match coverage, but also looking at the market and
Hmm.
trying to outthink the market. That's been a significant plus point of covers of subscription for me.
Yeah, this is what we have been saying right from the very beginning. The only reason cause is managing to do what it's doing right now because we're combining data and the content quality and also the tactics, all of them combined together. This is something that no platform at the moment is doing.
Yeah, so absolutely. Let's look at the scorecard of the game briefly. So you had Saika Ishak in the Fantasy 11, and how good she has been through the entire tournament, holding the purple cap and picking up 3 wickets in the last game as well.
Very impressive. That's one thing that the other local spinners don't seem to have. Shaika Asar is a little bit faster through there, so it becomes difficult for the opposition to attack it. That's what being, for example, RCB have a couple of the slow left arm spinners themselves, but they are slower through there that it becomes easier for the opposition batters to target their spinners, and that's something that Shaika Ishak doesn't do. She has a good air speed and variations as well. All of these combined together has made her as good as any of the other bowling options that they have in that illustrious bowling unit.
Yeah, and there are so many all-rounder bowling options that Mumbai Indians have. They even hardly bowl Humaira Kazi, even though they pick her on the 11.
It's basically like having four extra players in the 11. This is something we had discussed in a season preview as well. They have seven players who could score them 160 and bowl 20 overs. This is very similar to another dominant T20 setup in the women's circuit, Sydney Sixers. But after a couple of years, their gaps were found out because they're not filling. They're not complementing the other four players. They're not complementing the superstars. In this case, for example, Shaika Ishak is someone who offers a skill set that any of those seven players do not offer. She's a slow left arm off spinner. That is something they do not have in that star-studded seven players that they have in the 11.
And to have somebody like Haley Matthews who can open the batting and bowl 4 overs, it's a luxury not many teams have.
Yeah, I think it's look at how well they have combined that. But Haley Matthews is an off-spin all-rounder. Shiver Brent is a pace bowling all-rounder. Amelia Kerr is a leg spin all-rounder. The skill sets are not even repeated in the players that they have in the superstars that they have bought. This is a class. This is one of the greatest T20 teams ever constructed, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just a brilliant work of art. They have every bowling type. Left arm slow option in Saikai Shah, a wrist spinner in Amelia Kerr, somebody who can bowl off spin in Haley Matthews and control the pace of the innings with an intelligent bowling of dragging back the leg, bowling fuller, attacking the leg side. It's been a fun attack to watch these games that Mumbai Indians have played.
It has been, yeah. There was a lot of criticism, for example, on Yastika Bhatia's purchase. But even if you look at that, she's a left-hander. She's one of the left-handers are really difficult to get in the women's cricket circuit, for one thing. And she also complements the rest of the setup, and she gives them a dual value as well in the form of keeping wickets.
Yeah, I did question Yasika Bhatia's selection after the first game. She got it for one, and that prediction was that Haley Matthews would, race to 10 runs, faster than her. There, I asked her question to you. I remember, given her, poor strike rate of whether she would continue to open. But man, what a tournament she's had after that. She's been, almost outscoring Haley Matthews in every other game, and she's been scoring at a good pace as well.
Yeah, one of the plus points for Yastika is she's an excellent player of pace bowling. I mean, he could bowl at 125 kph, which is the fastest speed that you'd normally expect in women's cricket, and she could stand tall and pull you down the ground. So that's how good she is, and at such an young age, she has a lot of development to do against spinners. But as an opener, you could manage that, I guess.
So DI Patil yesterday looked like it's definitely slowed down, especially, Jamima Rodriguez trying to sweep Shobna and hitting the top edge is a fair indicator that, ball is really not coming that quickly to the bat. So how would a Brabon Stadium expected to behave today, for example?
I think Brabon, it may also have slowed down. There were signs of it in the last game, but I think it will still be 155 plays, 150 type of deck, especially if Mumbai bat first.
Looking at yesterday's game, again, it was brilliant because you had predicted that batting early on would be difficult, and therefore, Shafali Verma, Smriti Mandana, and Sophie Devin may not get going, and they did not. And Shefali Verma going for that big heave, playing across and getting bowled first ball, and Smriti Mandana again getting out for a cheap score yesterday. That almost made the Jemima Rodriguez thing came through, right? Except that the sweep shot she have played and got a top edge, and she was humming along nicely to a 50.
Yeah, it was a huge call to leave out three of those players. Smriti Mandana, Shafali Verma, and I think we also left out Sophie Devine as well. So that pretty much sealed all of them failing. Pretty much sealed the day for us. It was a big day for a lot of our subscribers. They basically wreaked havoc in all of the leagues that they have played. This is the thing with the trust in processes that we have. We had also dropped Shafali Verma in the game before that. She had scored like 16 ball 50 or
70
something.
yard and 28 balls or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were all set to clean sweep that game as well at the first half of the game, but in the 15 minutes it turned upside down. To drop her again shows the trust that we have in our processes and the belief that we have in the systems that we use to produce these 11s and predictions.
Yeah, and this is where recency bias would kick in for uninformed player who just picked Shafali Verma blindly because she scored a 70 yard in 28 balls. Insights on the pitches, the venue, and the markets, everything comes into play when you come out with your fantasy 11 and predictions. Just it's been an absolute treat just to read the pre-match guides and then follow the game. It makes the game a lot more engaging for an average user, average fan like me.
Thank you, Gordon.
So
Happy to
looking,
hear that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Looking at the scorecard yesterday, yesterday's scorecard, again, the middle order is what you said will get going. How good was Perry? She had this drop catch, Shika Pandey. She held on brilliantly to the Heather Knight shot, but to her
Mm.
own bowling, she kind of put down a very straightforward chance. Otherwise, Royal Challengers would not even made to 150.
Yeah, they're really struggling, especially the first 10. It was difficult even for Perry. Perry couldn't get going. I mean, Heather Knight was going to be an important player for them. She got off to a decent start, but the dismissal, the catch that was taken by Shikha Pandey, kind of like sealed the game for them pretty much. Even after an innings like that from Richa Ghosh, they stood no chance in the game.
And finally, Richa Ghosh, kind of standing to her potential. What a inning she played, absolute blinder. Some of the
Yeah,
shots she played, especially she played an inside-out shot of Jonathan, if I'm not wrong.
yeah.
It was absolute treat to watch.
This was the form she was in the World Cup, and to see her finally find that back in this tournament was good.
Yeah, and how good was Shika Pandey? Her fast balls are really fast, but she does have the slower one. That's what
Mm,
really caught Perry by surprise. It bounced, chased her, and it was a slower delivery, which he kind
mm.
of almost scooped back to Shika Pandey. But Renuka Singh seems to be total one-dimensional. She can bowl when the conditions are. She picked up this 3 or 4 or 5 wicket haul in the World Cup. But after that, if the track and the conditions doesn't help her much, she seems to be easy pickings for the batsman.
Yeah, when the deck is flat and when there is no movement of the deck or in the air, she usually struggles, and that's one of the reasons why RCB have in general struggled at Brabon. She bowled better yesterday at DY Patil, but she didn't pick up any wickets. Even should, for example, ball better. She was dropped for the game at Brabon before that one, but they fared better, but still they were unlucky to be on the losing side again.
Yeah, and to hold Renuka Singh back to bowl the last over when they hardly bowled Preeti Bose. Preeti Bose actually did not bowl badly. Just that
Mm,
Alice Capsey batted so well that over, and he
mm,
actually she caught out of the boundary in the last ball, I think. But I
mm.
was very surprised that given the slow nature of the wicket, Smriti did not bowl Preeti more.
Especially against that Delhi Capitals batting unit that has a series of reds against slow left arm off spin. I think that was marked in our matchup sheet as well. So maybe they could have at least given her one more over, especially with the fielding restrictions being relaxed. So that was a surprising addition from Madana.
And that could have given Vandana a couple of options for the 19th and the 20th over. Maybe
Yeah.
Perry shut, instead of Renuka, because
Mm,
we all know she, at least bowls four length balls,
mm.
and with the short boundaries, and especially 19th, 20th over, she just becomes easy pickings for batsmen of Caps and Jonathan's class.
Yeah, the delivery that was hit for a six, for example, it was really poor ball to ball on that deck in that situation. So she has a lot to prove. I think her career economy rate at the death is around 10, which is really high in women's cricket. So that's something that she needs to improve and she needs to progress if she needs to thrive in the international circuit.
Yeah, how Praveen Kumar used to be handled, probably she has to bowl all over overs up front or by the middle overs. She
Mm,
does need to develop those slower balls like what Shika Pandey has to be
mm.
able to bowl at the death. Yeah,
Yeah,
so now moving on. Yeah, go ahead.
that's what India does with her. They ball her out before the 12th or 13th over, but RCB cannot do it because of the lack of resources that they have.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, looking, we're jumping into today's game. Gujarat Giants, shocking decision to leave Dunkley out to, accommodate Laura Woolward, but
Hmm.
hopefully they would play Dunkley today. But whose expense would Dunkley play today if she were to come in?
I think it would be Georgia Varam, I guess, because the other option, Kim Garth, the five wicket all should still play in their minds, and even though she hasn't picked up a wicket since then, but that's the only high quality pace option they have in the 11. So they cannot drop Kim Garth. So it has to be Georgia Varam who has to make way for Dunkley to come back in.
Yeah, so going to the squads, if they, Anvaram is a wrist spinner, and
Mm,
with Brabon, maybe, they can afford to drop a spinner and then accommodate Kim Garth, who's a pace bowler.
mm,
But their top bowlers have to fire, unlike Mumbai Indians, have plenty of options.
mm.
Ashley Gardner and Kim Garth are key today to come good with their bowling if Gujarat Giants were to, trouble the Mumbai Indians batsmen.
Exactly. I think their bowling unit is going to struggle, and especially so if Garth and Gardner do not do anything significant, because Snairana has been struggling with the fitness. She didn't bowl an over in the last game, and she also came out to bat at number 10. So she has been struggling throughout the tournament with an injury, with one or the other injury. So that's something that that's a concern. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't play today. That was how bad it looked in the last game.
Oh man, hope she feels better soon. And the due factor, do you think it's starting to kick in as we move towards the second half of March?
I think that was something. Maybe it was Ravi Shastri. Yes, he made an call at the start of the tournament that as you progress, you'll see the dew coming in heavily. So maybe that would also start to become an important factor going ahead in the tournament.
Yeah, and that would be interesting to see how spinners then fare during the middle overs, especially in the second half of the innings, when the due factor sets in.
Yeah,
So some more of your, you go ahead.
especially if Mumbai bats second, for example, it will be difficult for Gujarat to contain that batting unit.
Yeah, yeah, a couple of interesting calls on Harleen Deol. She looked good in the previous game, so she could come together to perform another one in this match.
I think
Talk to us a little bit more about
the
that.
one of the important calls of the day is going to be between Harleen Deol and Kim Garth, I guess, or Georgia Varam, who are placed. That's going to be a crucial call for the day because Harleen Deol has looked in glorious touch, but she's still a batter. Whereas on the other hand, Kim Garth and Georgia Varam could contribute with both bat and ball. So that the fourth Gujarat pick is going to be crucial for the day, or the other two specialist batters that are in contention, Laura Woolward and Sophia Dunkley. So this is the decision that's going to make or break the game today, whether you're going for the all-round option in Kim Garth or Georgia Varam or one of the specialist batters in the Gujarat top three.
And that's what your first note says. Brabon, we pack our 11 with batters and batting all rounders, expecting it to be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another game where if Mumbai Indians bats first, probably they put on a big score, and then it would be, chasing the tail for Gujarat Giants. Hopefully, not such a lame game comes close, but it looks on paper that something like that is highly likely to happen.
Yeah, I would be surprised if the only chance that Gujarat have is Dunkley and Bulwer putting on a big partnership, opening partnership. They are the star players and they'll have to deliver. And then Gardner has to take it on. These superstars have to come to the party today.
Yeah, there are a couple of predictions today. We are not going to show that on our show. That's reserved for subscribers. But you are talking about like how we have the fantasy product, starting a specific product for subscription. Talk to us a little bit more about that, please.
Yeah, this is something that have been in the build for a long time now, and it's one of the most expected products. We have had a lot of subscribers asking us to launch this. So basically, what this will be is a premium product because that's the only way we can do it. It will be priced at 5,000 INR per year. What we'll be doing is finally giving out people what they have already always been asking in play predictions and post toss predictions. If you notice the predictions that we have been giving so far is based on have been given like hours before the toss. We do not even have the advantage of the toss, that we still have an accuracy rate of 67 to 70%. Shows how good we have been. But imagine what we could do with these if we have the advantage of knowing who wins the toss and what are those conditions. That's what we are going to do with predictions. So that's one thing that we'll be doing in this as part of this premium offering. And there is also a lot of requests to explain what we are doing. For example, there are some picks we make after the toss, then there is no time to explain this. And considering the workload that we already have, it becomes really difficult to do it as part of the current package that we have. So what we are going to do is all of those who are becoming part of this premium membership will have 7 questions that they could ask me directly, which I'll be explaining them and which will help them understanding. It could be any question. It could be regarding an investment strategy. It could be regarding whether you want to commit to a certain player. For example, there are platforms where you could buy a player and hold them onto a certain period of time. You could ask me whether you have a decision to make between two players and you'd want to buy this player and how long you'd want to hold. We'll be giving out the exact way that you'd want to do it. For example, buy a player here and hold him for like 15 to 20 days and then sell him. These are the kind of services that we are going to offer as part of this package. And in addition to it, post match notes, the match that observations that we make and the observations that I personally have on all of those events happening. This is going to improve your understanding of the fantasy gaming and in predictions as well. This is something that we are going to add to it. These are the 4 features that we are planning to launch as part of this new package. You'll have a detailed report of those in the website up in a couple of days, I hope. So once then after that, registrations opened, and there are 100 spots only at the moment. We have only opened up 100 spots for this because this is, as I said before, it will be treated as a premium offering.
Yeah, I think that's where our viewers have to watch out the space on your Twitter handle and also on coversof.aa website. There are only going to be 100 slots. Lucky users who can get in and have the kind of access that I have with Al, which asking questions before the game, during the game, and after the game. That kind of brings in an intimate, enriching relationship for our premium subscribers with Al directly. But only 100 slots are available, so I'm sure that it would sell out as soon as it's put up on the website. So please watch Al's Twitter handle and also covers our website for further instructions on how to join the waitlist. So I guess that brings us to the end of the show, Al. Thank you so much for finding time. I'm really looking forward to doing the next show with you. Hopefully, that will be sooner than later.
No problem. I'm hoping to do this on a more regular basis during the IPL as well, given how big the tournament it is. And we are going to start launching our IPL products soon as well. So it's going to be a really exciting couple of months ahead for us.
Can't wait to start receiving IPL team guides and venue guides. So
Yeah,
just 2 weeks more.
true.
Yeah. All right. You enjoy your evening, and I look forward to watching the game and seeing all your predictions come true.
Yeah,
So thank you so much for your time today. Take care, Al.
the same here, Con. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.